Hundreds of children living in Northeast Ohio have elevated levels of lead in their blood. It comes from a place where those kids should be safe, their home.
As a result, health officials have issued vacate orders for more than 500 homes in Cuyahoga County. But as 3 News investigator Rachel Polansky reports, those orders are often ignored at the expense of our children.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Like many 6-year-olds, Shiloh Shaw loves music. But his taste is more refined than most his age.
He loves Mozart, mostly. He really loves Mozart.
And that's not all that sets Shiloh apart.
I have to get him lead tested still every 6 months.
A blood test 4 years ago found that he had unsafe lead levels, nearly 3 times what the CDC considers safe.
It wasn't, the case of him eating paint chips. It was him more so breathing in the lead that was, in the house.
It took about a year for the lead to clear Shiloh's system.
Do you believe that Shiloh's learning disabilities are related to his lead exposure?
That definitely has something to do with it. The fact that he got lead from this house at such a young age caused him to be on the borderline of the autism spectrum.
Medical experts say that lead poisoning does not cause autism. Lead poisoning can, however, delay language and lower IQ.
So, later down the road when he's in school, he may have some difficulties with learning.
That's Stephanie McConaughey from the county health department. She's notified whenever a child tests for elevated lead levels. She'll inspect the child's home, pinpoint the lead source, and give the property owner 90 days to remove it. If the owner refuses, the county issues a vacate order. Today, Ohio has 1,100 such homes, and 500 of them are in Cuyahoga County.
Anyone living in a home with an order should be concerned.
But are they? 3 News visited some cited homes.
When did you find out that there was lead in this house?
It was last year.
Evelyn Sloan knows that there's lead in her Cleveland home, but she says she can't afford repairs, which can run into the thousands.
So I just said forget it.
And in Cleveland Heights, these tenants know that there's lead inside their rental, but they say their landlord promises a remedy.
So have they done that work yet?
Not yet.
It's in process.
Yeah.
And let's circle back to Lisa Shaw, who's known her rental home has been on the vacate list for 3 years. She blames it on her landlord, who would not return my calls. Meanwhile, lead poisoning in Flint, Michigan sparked national outrage. But researchers at Case Western Reserve found that 10% of Flint children have elevated lead levels, while Cleveland averaged 13%.
For those children, the earlier we can identify it, the earlier we can start to intervene, the more capacity this child has.
And we want to make this clear. This is not just a city problem.
It doesn't matter where the property is. It doesn't matter the income of the family. If it was built before 1978 and still has some of the original paint, you have potential for hazards.
So if you're a tenant and your landlord won't fix a lead hazard, what recourse do you have? In Cleveland, a new law will require landlords to make rentals lead-free starting in March 2021. And if you live in the suburbs, you can complain to the Attorney General's office. But as you can see in Lisa Shaw's case, vacate orders have very little teeth. And for kids like Shiloh, who have already been poisoned,
What kind?
it's unclear what their futures hold.
As for Lisa's landlord, well, he lives in New Jersey. I have been in contact with his property manager, and she tells me that she's given him my messages. So far, though, he has not returned my calls. Meanwhile, there are grants that you can apply for to help you with lead remediation. I'll put all that information for you on WKYC.com. Rachel Polansky, 3 News.